the current situations and developments in Iran at this particular time, we've been hearing that the arsenal of the ballistic missiles, if you look at how the way that the war started and how it is now, that's running low. At the same time, we do see that the Israeli attacks on Iran are becoming more and more intensified. And now even allies have actually asked for a support. What does that mean for the Iranian people? Also, if there is a refugee crisis that is looming now, what are the future implications for the people in Iran at this time?
Yeah, we can see that Israel and Iran are attacking each other. One of them is attacking mostly with the ballistic missiles, while Israel is bombing. After bombing its air defense systems, which is very free over the skies of the Iran. For that reason, that will continue for a couple of days, but I do not think that it will go like this more than a week. The implications, will Israel become able to deter Iran having a nuclear weapon? I don't think so, unless United States participate, because the nuclear facilities which Iran is operating is under the ground, and Israel has not enough power to penetrate under the ground. For that reason, United States is very important in order to eliminate the nuclear facilities
the
of
cluster
Iran
bombs that we keep on hearing, the cluster bombs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Without the cluster bombs and strategic bombers and the tanker planes, Israel will not be able to penetrate to the underground facilities of the Iran. For that reason, in the next coming days, we will be able to see if United States will participate or not. But as far as I can get from the open source intelligence, Netanyahu directly threatening Trump administration, if they do not help, they will use nuclear weapons in order to eliminate the nuclear facilities of Iran, which is a big disaster, especially in terms of huge refugee flow to the neighboring countries, including Turkey.
Yeah. So, if this is a big if the U.S. becomes part of it, we know that the U.S. would be using its forward bases mostly based out of the Middle East. Do you see Iran actually going after them because they are based in all Muslim countries? That would sort of create an enormous situation which would totally go out of hand.
Yeah, when the conflict started in any part of the world, no one can guarantee it will stay on the spot. So it will spread. It might be spreading all over the region, including Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Jordan. In case Iran retaliate the U.S. bases, and during this retaliation, if Iran also bombs those countries like Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq, that can start also a regional conflict. For that reason, no one can guarantee, because no one was knowing that during the First World War, there will be a huge World War after the Archduke Ferdinand was killed in the Sarajevo. So that may trigger.
So, the way that the situation is developing, I mean, although it's creating jitters across the globe, but regionally it's becoming a problem. We've seen, Muslim countries in particular, the OIC and its the member states, coming and condemning the attack on Iran. If a situation develops in which Israel's Western allies actually move, because we know that it doesn't look like a possibility, and as you've also mentioned, that a regime change, which is obviously a desired outcome out of this entire conflict, cannot happen without boots on ground. What would be the reaction of other nation states, particularly Muslim countries in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I should clearly declare that if there is a Muslim countries, I'm not sure, but without no doubt there are Muslims. Alhamdulillah. But Muslim countries, especially in the Middle Eastern region, as the new ambassador of United States to Turkey declared a couple of days ago, are the outproducts of Sykes-Picot Agreement, which was drawn 100 years ago. For that reason, it is another story, but there is a strong reaction from the Muslim population of the countries, especially for the Gaza, and there will be also for the Iran. Iran lost its legitimacy, especially during the Syrian internal war, because without no mercy, Qasem Soleimani and his comrades killed innocent people inside Syria and in the Middle East. But again, if Israel attacks Iran, Iran will again gain its legitimacy in the Middle East. For that reason, if Israel attacks Iran, without no doubt, it will gain legitimacy. But a regime change without boots on the ground, as you have said, is impossible. For that reason, I do not think that there will be a regime change. Netanyahu's call over the Iranian people has no effect, because Netanyahu a couple of days ago said that our enemy is the same. We are both together against to the Iranian regime, so uprise them. But I don't think that the Iranians will listen a murderer for uprising. The only idea in their mindset is to bring the Shah again, because the son of Reza Shah a couple of months ago was in Israel, in the Jerusalem. So taken all the orders what he can take from Tel Aviv. Again, supporting Shah family to return to Iran means that they will establish a puppet state again, which is very friendly with Israel.
Yeah.
The meaning is that.
One last question before I leave you, Yusuf. We've seen that Iran in the past had two major strategic allies, and there was an understanding and agreements as well. One was Russia and the other one was China. With Russia, it has almost a 25 years agreement. With China, it has almost a 20 years agreement. We haven't seen much of a reaction in terms of kinetics coming in from both countries. Do you think that if in any possible scenario where you have boots on ground, this would change?
If boots on the ground, on the Iranian soil, belongs to the Americans and the Israelis, no doubt China and Russia will be on the ground also. But what I can say, why Russia and China is so silent, especially since 5 days, I think that Russia also does not want Iran, which is having a nuclear weapon. Also, Russia also may consider that a nuclear power of Iran is a threat for the Russia himself. For that reason, Russia might not be wanting Iran to enrich uranium to 90%, which is very close now, 60%. That might be the main reason. The second issue is that although China and Iran has good relations with each other, Iran neglected China's power and defense industry and didn't procure China's complex warplanes and air defense systems enough.
And
we have seen this effect. What is the meaning of what I am saying now? Building good relations with China in the India-Pakistan conflict in the recent war.
So, and we've seen that Iran's aerial capabilities as well as its S-300 defense system has not been able to actually counter on whatever is happening. But one last question: do you think that there is going to be a political solution? Because what we're hearing around at this point, it doesn't look like it's going to have a very, very happy scenario in the near future.
I think that there might be a solution, because the Iranian leaders are very capable of making U-turns in the critical moments, like in 2015. So I think that in the next coming hours, there might be a peace table that Iran may give up all its ambitions about nuclear weapons in order to protect its regime.